It's April 1987. Auto Week magazine's cover offers a first-time look into the 1989 Mustang. And people are not happy. Boy, are they not happy. But more on that later. This is the story of how the Ford Probe saved the Mustang. So let's go back to the early 80s, when corporate average fuel economy became a real concern for Ford as they started to envision the fourth generation Mustang. The Fox platform was not yet that old, but its rear-wheel drive and V8 in the performance models was not fitting the bill. Yes, I know they made Turbo 4 GTs and the SVO, which are both amazing cars in their own right, but Ford wanted a more modern design, with an arguably more modern drivetrain. Hey, don't get mad at me, it was Ford. At the time, there were rumors that even GM had started planning a front-wheel drive replacement for both its Firebird and Camaro. Anyway, in 1983, Ford collaborated with Mazda to use the platform from its 626 model redesigned as a sport coupe, so Ford started designing the look of its then planned front-wheel drive Mustang. Once the new sleek design was approved by both manufacturers, it was decided that the assembly would take place at the completely renovated assembly plant in Flat Rock, Michigan, right alongside Mazda's MX-6 and 626, which shared much of the same parts underneath. The new model, codenamed the ST16, would have two versions of the 2.2-liter fuel-injected four-cylinder Mazda engine. The Mustang GT would get the turbocharged version rated at 145 horsepower at 4,300 RPM and 167 foot-pounds of torque at 2,000 RPM, while the standard non-turbo engine put out 110 horsepower at 4,700 RPM and 130 foot-pounds of torque at 3,000 RPM. It would seem that for Ford executives, they had what they had wanted. It was a more modern-looking front-wheel drive four-cylinder GT that was also fuel efficient. Additionally, Ford had intended to phase out the rear-wheel drive Mustang as its Mustang Classic, while ushering in the new front-wheel drive replacement. Don't worry, Ford, it didn't work for Coke either. Now let's get back to that magazine cover. By 1987, the Mustang GT was pushing 225 horsepower and 300 foot-pounds of torque. Over the last few years, the boss really was back, and it felt like a muscle car again. Sales were up as well. The car on the cover was not the Mustang many enthusiasts had come to love. When word of the 1989 Mustang, with its front-wheel drive, Japanese styling, and four-cylinder engines, reached the Mustang purists, results were not at all what Ford had expected. People started to write letters. Remember, there was no big internet or social media back then, so letters it was. As a matter of fact, hundreds of thousands of letters poured into Ford demanding that the Mustang remain rear-wheel drive. And Ford listened. They kept the Fox Mustang alive for just a few more years while they designed a more worthy successor. But because of the large investment it had made into the ST16 project, they decided to release the car under a new model name, the Ford Probe. It was met with mixed reviews and continued production through the 1997 model year. John Coletti, who later went on to be the father of the SVT Cobra program, became the team leader for the Mustang in 1989. He was quoted as saying, "I would rather have seen the Mustang name die than put the Mustang name on the Probe." Ford would go on to design and produce the fourth generation Mustang codenamed SN95 and release it in 1994. The Mustang has never stopped being a rear-wheel drive muscle car in its over 50 years of production, and there are no signs of stopping. And that's how the Ford Probe indirectly saved the Mustang. If you like this video, please hit that like button, and for more things Mustang, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.